in the book here, which I love the fact that it's been a bestseller since February. It's not out yet.
No,
it's out tomorrow.
Out tomorrow.
Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you. This is wild. Hopefully my voice will like drop after a little bit. It's so high
I love
pitched.
that it's great. Dude, at 24 years old, you've already written a New York Times best-selling book. How's that feel? Not bad. Not bad.
This is a promotional opportunity. We really should mention the book. People will be cross.
You are so generous.
People will be cross if we don't mention the book.
don't like
I know
it.
you won't,
Oh,
but there's people out the back who
All right,
will
well,
throttle
go on.
me and throttle
Do
you.
your promotion then. Go on, get
Okay.
on with it.
And she's written a book. There you go.
My starting this book was inspired by two different events from the same day. Me having my regular, scheduled, on-time, weekly breakdown and the common overthinking at night. The breakdown back in January, I felt like I was too good to everyone and no one ever reciprocated the same loyalty or care back. The whole thing of if you stop calling first, you won't hear from anyone. It was quite an empty day, not much socialising, stressed, tired from daily life, so I carried these thoughts to bed with me. I remember laying there, going through the few thoughts from the day, and then I actually began thinking of what other people would be doing in the world at the same time. So this was a major inspiration for my first section, which I'll read you a tiny bit of now. The world is all so immense and there's so much going on all around us every second of the day. You lie still and imagine there's someone in a bar in New York City having their first drink with friends after coming out of a depressive episode. There's someone in the Middle East waking up to go to the mosque to pray to his God, asking him to end this relentless war that's killing his people. There's someone losing their virginity, anxiously wondering if they're moaning the right way. There's a soldier who's crying over the loss of his best friend. There's someone who's about to make a momentous scientific discovery after months of research. There's someone working the night shift of their second job to make sure they have enough money to pay their rent. There's somebody grieving their mother after she took her last breath only minutes ago. There's someone out there who has no idea they'll die tomorrow. I really thought I was going to do a kind of portfolio of mini stories of what all these people will be doing at the same time, the same night and everything. But the way I approached the story and my writing evolved. I tried a new process where I would only write if I was feeling a strong emotion, like high on a particular emotion. Ecstatic, the excited feeling where you fancy the pants off of someone, angry and hurt, often by the same person, grieving, missing someone, you name it. And I felt like this was the only time that I produced my best work and nailed the way that I truly felt. As someone who is single, a fairly latish finisher of uni, fought with and lost my own best friend, still working that same minimum wage job and gradually losing a big circle of friends since leaving school, I personally felt lost. But surely I kept thinking to myself, I can't be the only person who feels this way. And so I began communicating these feelings to other people and found that 90% of them felt the same. Even if they had a boyfriend, kids, engaged, married, they were worried about their careers. If they're single and thriving in their careers, they're thinking, I'm at the age where I should be dating my future husband or wife right now. Others are completely lost and unsure, but continue to take each day as it comes and just go along with the ride. So I think, we can all relate. The hours between 12 and 3 have a strange way of making you feel like you're on top of the world or under it. This is why I chose to give this book a direct video game simulation feel. Like the second person allows me to give the reader the opportunity to submerge themselves into the narrative. The reader will lie there like I did and hopefully experience these familiar situations and the same emotions that I did. I was literally striving for my reader's reaction to be mood or same. So I tried to make the narrative as all-encompassing as possible so that even though it's not the reader's story, it's close or could be close. A narrative of the recognisable struggle of trying to find who you are, what you want from your life, who you want in it, and doing all of this whilst trying to work out everything else at the same time at such a young age. Adam Lambert said in an interview, I think for the majority of my 20s, I was always so concerned with what I didn't have or what I still wanted, and this really sums up a large portion of the narrative. You're confused, you're stressed, you're under pressure, you want a cuddle, not a platonic one. So the moral of the story is, it's okay, it will get better, even if we don't all realise it yet. It's the most raw and honest piece I've ever written, and when my mum read it, she said, I've learnt a lot about you tonight. So I hope that gives you a little bit of insight, and I'm going to read you a section now. You'll count the carriages, get on at the third, keeping your head down, sit and get that book out. You'll be looking for him standing somewhere, but won't be able to see him. You'll turn and realise he has already sat beside you, eyes closed, the back of his head resting against the cool window, and the lights in the tunnel flash over his features. By the third stop, you'll feel your heart forcing the blood round your body that little bit faster under your skin as the carriage begins to empty. You'll tell yourself to calm down, just read the book or something. Fourth stop. Have you got time? A voice will interrupt your concentration. There will be no one around, so he'll be talking to you. You'll turn to him. His eyes will be like a penetrating steel grey. Your mouth will gape open awkwardly, and you'll tell him it's 6:45. You'll stare, waiting for a response, and he'll stare back with a curious smile, the kind of smile that will make your cheeks burn. No, sorry, he chuckles. I meant, have you got time for a drink? Now? Yeah, now. By 6:53, he'll tell you his name. You'll share your location over text with Ali, as it's become a thing you both do when on a date, for safety reasons and to let the other know that gossip is coming their way by morning. By 7, you'll know he lives in West Finchley, just around the corner from you, in a small apartment with a shih tzu called Maisie. You'll learn about how much he loves dogs and how he had to write a 3-page email to his landlord just to be allowed to keep her. A text will come through from Ali telling you, don't do anything I wouldn't do, bitch, stay safe. By 7:15, you'll have learned that it is possible to fall in love with someone else's laugh, and will vow to keep making a fool of yourself just to keep hearing it. By 7:30, he'll have told you how he got the scar through his eyebrow from playing football in school. You'll both laugh at the image in your heads of him getting smacked in the face with a ball. By 7:45, you'll learn how beautiful he thinks you are and how he's enjoyed spending the evening with you. He'll walk you to your block of flats and ask to see you again. He'll ask for your Instagram and will tell you that he likes the picture of you with the cute top on next to the neon sign that says, well-behaved women don't make history. You'll exchange numbers as you get closer to yours, and he'll text you a funny anecdote just as he's walking away. You'll blush all the way up to the 7th floor until arriving at your apartment. Unlocking the door, you'll be eager to get into bed and replay the whole evening in your mind whilst listening to Taylor Swift. Instead, you'll open the door and notice a suitcase in the hallway. You'll follow a trail of shoes, a hung-up jacket, and the familiar fragrance of an aftershave you used to know, and find Curtis perched on the edge of the sofa. He knew you couldn't shake old habits and wouldn't dare change the placement of the spare key. Always hidden at the top of the door, middle left, and stuck down with blue tack. He'll have probably thought to himself. After all this time, he'll be ready to tell you, I made a mistake, I shouldn't have gone without you, that he's missed you. You'll look closely at his face, his lips, and his outreached hands, but it'll be different this time. 3 years later, you'll look at them and realise you want nothing from them anymore. Thank you.